Hey, hey, hey. What's up, y'all? This is short notice and it's Sunday night, so I have no idea who's going to show up or not show up, but we'll see. So, how's everyone doing? So I'm going to put in I don't use my community notes, but I'm going to start using the community notes. And in the community notes is going to be a poll about what time. I'm still trying to figure out a schedule to do. And something interesting happened last week. I scheduled a live stream for the wrong time. I scheduled it for the AM instead of the PM. And to my surprise, a lot of people showed up in the AM asking, "Where's the stream?" And it kind of made me realize, oh wait, so some people would actually come in during daylight hours. So it kind of made me want, and some people were saying, "Yeah, at work I listen to live streams," and I was like, "Oh, you degenerates, that's interesting." So it didn't consider me. I thought people wouldn't be able to listen to live streams during the day. So I kind of was going to put a poll into the community tab because I think polls are an option. I feel like I've seen other people put polls in the community tab. I was gonna put a poll about what would you like to be your preferred time to see live streams, because I could take a break in the middle of the day and make that my lunch time and do a stream or something like that. Morning shows, like mornings, I tend to go to the gym, so it's harder to do a morning show. Like I wouldn't mind doing a morning show, but I feel like it would cut into the gym time, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, that's something that I'm gonna do is ask people like how many people out there would be interested in catching a daytime live stream. So keep an eye on the community tab, keep checking it. I don't know if 'cause I never really used my community tab before. I think I used it once, so I don't know if it alerts people when I. Yeah, so this is one of the people. Yeah, yeah. So it was an unfortunate accident, but at the same time, maybe it was a good one because it opened up my mind to this idea that I didn't even consider. Yeah, so yeah, I might give that a shot. If I can figure out how to work it in with my workout, then that's fine. Because I really like working out in the morning because that way I know nothing's gonna derail me from doing it. So I prefer working out in the morning to working out in the afternoon or the evening because somebody might invite you out, you get sick or something happens. So, but if enough people vote for the morning, I'll figure out a way to make it happen. It's only like 3 days a week that are planned. Yeah, I'm just giving people some time to come in. Let me set up. Oh, like, comment, share, subscribe, especially the share part. Like, don't be afraid to share with your friends. And something that people have been asking me a lot about is like I don't really talk about it, but people keep asking if I lost weight and then how I lost weight and can I talk about it. But I'm like, I feel like channels should have a general theme, and the theme of this channel now is reactions. Like I don't really want those channels that has like everything under the sun. So I don't really know how it would fit in to the like I don't know. I don't feel like doing a um whole different channel dedicated to fitness because I can barely post on this one regularly. Like I feel like I should get one channel down um before I start thinking about a second channel. I think it's kind of ridiculous. But if enough people keep asking, maybe I'll do a video about it or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't want to have one of those channels that's just doing everything under the sun and it's like has no focus. I feel like the channel should have some kind of focus. And I decided on the reaction thing. But I mean, a lot of people keep asking, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe people will find it helpful. But I also don't think I have anything particularly novel to say. Like, I feel like it's always gonna be the same thing. Like, get in a caloric deficit, um, have a have a take a lot of protein, or but I can't even say that because it's not so different for everybody. Some people get results with high protein diets and low carb. Some people have really high carb diets and low protein, but they make it work. It's very like I don't like telling anybody there's any one way to do anything because what works for me might not work for you, or might not be like ideal to your specific willpower or weaknesses. You know? Yeah, but well, when people say femcel, right? I don't think people mean you literally can't get sex. Um, I think it's more about having that incel energy, a type of entitlement to the type of attention you want from the opposite sex, the type of bitterness. Because even the term incel doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, men are called incels all the time who are clearly getting sex. Like, so I think the word incel doesn't really mean involuntarily celibate anymore. Like, I think it's kind of expanded to just mean um a specific kind of loser mentality. So I think no, it wouldn't be like pseudoscience. It would just be like just what I did to lose weight or what my routine is or whatever. But yeah, the more I think about it, I'm not gonna do it. I just don't think it's. I think all the information is out there. Like I really don't have anything particularly interesting to say. I think people would just be more tuning in just to hear me talk more than because I'm saying anything particularly notable. Like it's all the information that I use is on YouTube. Yeah, but yeah, basically incel or femcel, it means you're not getting who you want and you feel entitled to get who you want without either doing the work to do it or having the fair or not, genetics that tend to favor somebody. You know what I mean? Like but let me just jump into it. Let me just jump. I was taking some time because I want to give people time to um hop in. But hold on, let me go. Let me show you right now. First, let me make sure I have the. Yeah, okay, I have it up. Okay, cool. So here we go. And I think a good indicator that you are venturing into female incel territory is when the argument you're making, if it was gender reversed, people would say you're a incel or misogynist. So okay, this is it. Someone says this is a beautiful woman who put a lot of effort into looking good for a date, and within 2 minutes, he said he wasn't feeling it and left. Unrelated, and it's just clearly being sarcastic. They say there's a male loneliness epidemic. So let me repeat that again. This is a beautiful woman who put a lot of effort into looking good for a date, and within 2 minutes, he said he wasn't quote unquote feeling it and left. Unrelated, they say there is a male loneliness epidemic. And she's being sarcastic. She's basically saying that you men who claim you're depressed or whatever, you are lonely. You have no right to say you're lonely because you're not sleeping with women like this. And here we go. I hope I remember to put the sound on. I forgot to check. Well, anyway, let's see.
It did not go well. Truthfully, it lasted less than 2 minutes. I walked up, he gave me a hug, and said, "Are you hungry? Let's go inside."
So, um, are you guys able to hear it pretty well? Because the um volume's pretty low.
We went inside. He said, "Actually, can you step outside for a minute?" I stepped back outside, and he said, "I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just not feeling it." So I walked to my car, came back home. Dating when you're fat sucks. I put makeup on just for this date, so it better go well.
And I'm not posting this probably if it doesn't.
It did not go well. Truthfully,
Oh, so for some reason it didn't start at the beginning. That's weird. So this is actually where it's supposed to start. So let's listen to it one more time.
I put makeup on just for this date.
Okay, I put makeup on just for this date. So this person says this is a beautiful woman who put a lot of effort. Now I know some things I'm going to say in the stream are going to sound pretty mean, especially by today's standards. But how do you know she put a lot of effort? The only thing she said in the whole video is, "I put on makeup just for this date." To me, that sounds like okay. You don't normally put on makeup. I'm not saying you should be entitled to. Um, but the fact that you put on makeup just for the date, and also that the makeup doesn't, to me, look good. Like, look at this. Like, she just has these cheeks that looks like she was in the windstorm, and then a little bit of lipstick. Like those rosy cheeks look like one of those angel baby paintings they used to have in like the Renaissance days, or like a little bit clownish, or like she has a rash. Like, and I think it's probably because she doesn't put on makeup a lot. She only puts it on like she absolutely has to, like for a date. So maybe she did it more often. Her makeup skills would be better, but I think it also shows like she is not like maximizing uh herself. Like she. But I was kind of thinking like, how can you declare that she put a lot of effort? You know nothing about her. All you know is that she put on makeup for this day. She act like it's a chore to put on makeup for for a date. And I don't know, like to me, fair or not fair, life is a competition. Um, you might think it shouldn't be a competition, which is fine. I don't think anybody should be forced to live by anyone else's dictates. Like, I may not like that tackle football has tackling in it. Like I'm like, hey, that tackling shit, I'm not down with that. So I have a right not to play football, but what I don't have the right to do is insist on being on the football team on the football field, and then saying, "Why are you tackling me?" Like there's this weird thing I think people do now where they don't want to play the game, but they want to play the game. You know, um, it's if you're gonna be in the dating field, people are looking to maximize their chances. Just like on the football field, people try to maximize the chances. Like I can't go on there. It's kind of like how these like social justice types are now into the WNBA, and they want it to be run like a this weird DEI program. Like somebody posted a post the other day, and they were saying something along the lines of, "Well, there's a lot of women who are doing really good this year who don't get enough attention, so they should have given them all Rookie of the Year." And they list a bunch of names, and then all these sports fans are like, "What are you talking about? That's not what sports is. You can't just make sports into a you know everybody based on their identity, so that no one feels undesirable gets a Rookie of the Year thing. Like that's really ridiculous. Like, sorry for the sipping noises, and I'm thirsty, but I mean, this is the problem. Picture this was gender reversed, where a guy said, "Hey, I put in a lot of effort. I paid for the meal, and you didn't have sex with me." Nobody would go for that. Or if someone said, say with the friend zone stuff, like, "I made it clear I liked you. I did all this stuff, and then when I tried to get sex, you didn't have sex with me, or you didn't weren't interested in me sexually or as a partner, and picture guy put up something like this, and another guy posts another guy's video. Think of all those videos. There's a genre of video called fluid out videos where these guys fly a woman out on a vacation and book a hotel room and everything, and the woman's like, "Yeah, I'm not interested in you romantically." And these guys post all these videos upset, kicking the woman out of the hotel, and the woman's like, "Well, I never said we are gonna have sex and this and that." And picture guy said something like this, like, this is a hardworking man and putting a lot of effort. And I would say booking a vacation and making the money for the vacation is way more effort than put on makeup for this date. And or like when guys okay when guys say stuff like all these women complain they can't find a good man. Well, he was a good man that was willing to do something for a woman, but um this woman didn't want to date her. This is why y'all bitches get what you deserve. Like everyone be like, who the fuck are you? Like you're so, and rightfully so. You are not entitled to say what a woman should like in a partner. And you can declare yourself on behalf of a woman. This is the kind of guy you should want. Like, okay, she says, this is a beautiful woman who put a lot of work. First off, who are you to say she's beautiful? Um, I'm not being harsh here, but a lot of guys, she would not be their type. I'm not saying she's not beautiful, but a lot of guys might not like her. But the other thing is, where was it said that the guy didn't like her because of her looks? Like she explained in another video that I found. I went to TikTok. She did a follow up. She said that she and the guy exchanged pictures. She gave him full size pictures. He let him know, I'm a big girl. Is that okay with you? And he said it's okay. He doesn't mind this and that. Right. So she did post pictures apparently. Right. Now I want you to listen again to what she says here because this relates. Unfortunately, I went to play this several times.
So it better go well. And I'm not posting this probably if it doesn't.
Now, first off, her energy going into this date is like this better go well. And if it doesn't, she's not going in it with good vibes. Like, she's going in it like sour, ready for it to fail. Like, like what do you think she showed up like, energy wise? This is her pre-date energy. Look at it.
I put makeup on just for this date, so it better go well. And
It better go well because I put on makeup. It's like the bare minimum. Like that's for your own benefit, not the guy's benefit. Like you're trying to maximize, not be a guy like, oh, I booked an expensive restaurant, so this better go well. Like there's this way that people online are that see guys don't have the benefit of being babied. So it's like it's harder for us to sit in this delusional energy. But it's increasingly getting easier for women to because there's a whole group of women and men who will kind of coddle, you know, like if a guy was like, hey, I don't make a lot of money, but women should date me. People are like, just shut up and get a job. Like it's not, but you can't do that. If a guy complains about being short and how women don't like a short king, people be like, well, too bad, shorty. Join the lollipop guild, tough noogies. And anyway,
and I'm not posting this probably if it doesn't.
It did not go well. Truthfully, it lasted less than 2.
so she was sour before the date, and now she's sour after. Do you want me to believe that in between these two sour things, she just put on a happy face and just had, um, you know, fun energy? Like, it's the kind of thing that make a guy be like, man, this girl just really made me forget my bad day. She has great energy. Like, if I was, life is tough, and you don't want to date somebody that's coming with a drag me down energy. But let's go on.
2 minutes, I walked up He gave me a hug and said,
He gave me a hug and then said,
"Are you hungry? Let's go inside."
"Are you hungry? Let's go inside."
We went inside. He said, "Actually, can you step outside for a minute?" I stepped back outside and he said, "I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just not feeling it."
Now, I'm not going to say the guy was right or wrong. I have no idea what happened. All I'm saying is we got one side of the story. Now, how much time passed between when they went inside and when they went outside? She said the date lasted 2 minutes. She not 30 seconds. She said 2 minutes. 2 minutes is kind of a long time. It's not a long time, but a lot can happen in 2 minutes. She meets. He's okay with bringing her inside. Then she goes, "We're inside." But you say how long they were inside. Um, there's no discussion of passage of time, right? About 30 seconds has happened so far. So to me, it sounds like there's probably a minute to a minute and a half of being inside. Then he goes, um, "Hey, can we go back outside?" Now, maybe they just literally set foot inside, and then he set foot inside and said, "Actually, let's go back outside." Or maybe something happened. Did they make small talk and she was a downer? Did she say something that turned him off? Was she rude to the staff? Was her energy just really, really depressing? Because I can kind of see it happening just based on how she even led into the date. Did she lead off with her low self-esteem and talk about, I don't do my makeup a lot, but I did it for this thing, and I hope it goes well. And the guy was like, "Oh my god, you're killing my vibe." Like anything could have happened, but there's nothing that she says that says specifically he didn't like me because I'm fat. Which is, but I think it's kind of an incel thing. Like incels, whenever things will go their way, it's always like, well, she didn't like me because, oh, because I bet you want a Chad. I bet you want this. I bet you want um I bet you want like a guy makes a lot of money. Yeah, I knew you bitches don't appreciate a nice guy like me, or in this case, a beautiful woman like me, or I bet you want a tall guy. Like it's how do we know it's because she's fat? I mean, it might be. It might it might be. I don't know. But I mean, first off, the guy's entitled to not um like you, even if it's shallow reasons. I'd rather find out ahead of time than after. He's not obligated to buy you a meal, sit with you, lead you on, and then ghost you anyway, or maybe have sex with you and then ghost you. Like, at what point would it have been okay for him to not be interested? Like, is the idea that if he wasn't into you, but he stuck around, you would have had a chance to win him over? Well, in that case, that's like friend zone behavior. People complain about guys in the friend zone, like, oh, you should have just given me a chance. I'm a hardworking guy. Maybe you would have liked me. Like, trying to emotionally blackmail a woman into giving you. I mean, at least he didn't like continue to lead her on after this. But someone might say, oh, but he led her on by knowing she was big and still going on a date with her, which is fair if we can prove that it was her weight that made him leave. And we don't know. We just have her side of the story. We don't know why he left. We don't know what. I mean, I have been on dates where within a minute the person did something so out of pocket or so fucked up. I was like, oh, this is not a good sign. I've dated enough times to know this is not good. You know, we have no idea what she did. I don't think she's self-aware enough to even know because she's so stuck in her story that being fat is the kiss of death. And she even left being ready to be rejected or dejected. We don't know. The same way, like, it's hard to ever trust a male incel side of any story because, they just have this kind of seething entitlement. She's not seething, but she's kind of mopey. And mopey people like this, they either get other mopey people or they get abusive people in their life. Uh, the mopey people will join them and want to be mopey, and sometimes a lot of these people don't even want mopey people themselves, even though they're mopey. Like, ironically or hypocritically enough, they'll attract them, but they're like, "Oh, I I don't want that," even though I am that. Meanwhile, there's some people out there who are when wear your low self esteem on your sleeve. Uh, a lot of narcissistic or other types of effed up types of people will be attracted to you because they can see, wow, I can really um have dominance over this person, and then they end up in these messed up relationships and they don't realize like their polarity is attracting that to them. So it's like there's so much assumptions here, but the other thing I'm going to say is um unrelated. So he's not. So suppose you put in a lot of effort. I don't know what the effort is. Into looking good. Who are you to say that she looked good to him? Like again, that's like incel logic. Like declaring that unilaterally that you've done enough for this woman to be obligated to reciprocate what you want from her. Like, I have a good job and this woman didn't choose me. I work out and I make a lot of money, and these ungrateful bitches don't like. You can't declare yourself unilaterally what another woman is required to like. And like in the discourse, there are guys who do a million things for a woman. Drive her to the airport, pay her bills, do all this stuff. And again, the guys that fly women they barely know on vacations to make a good first impression. And then when the woman says, "Well, that's nice you did all this stuff for me, but I'm not feeling you like that," um, even that doesn't entitle the guy, you know, according to online discourse, to expect anything from the woman. But 1 hour, um, or whatever amount that she did to put on makeup, means this guy's required to date her and become her boyfriend or something. Like my problem is you can believe whatever you want, but you gotta have some kind of consistency uh to it. And there's just this weird. I think what happens is modern women created a lot of rules for how the one up should be treated in a relationship versus the one down. And they created these rules under the illusion that as a woman, they would never ever be in the one down position. It's kind of like how white people have all these things that they think minorities should be okay with and not complain about. But as the demographics of America change and they're in danger of becoming minority, suddenly they're scared to death. And it's like, wait, aren't you the ones that always say being a minority is not so bad? Just suck it up. Like, so why are you so deathly afraid of being a minority? It's because yeah, you're able to prescribe all these things for minorities to put up with and be okay with because you never thought you're gonna be a minority in this country. Like you never thought you'd have to put your money where your mouth is and actually have to lead by example and be the change that you want to see. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I think it's crazy that this woman posting this, right? The one that's posting this tweet, she's an MD, PhD, and she's justifying a male loneliness epidemic that is mainly about men committing suicide. Like the male loneliness epidemic, for people who don't remember the discourse, it came about because a lot of talk was about why are male suicides through the roof? Why is male depression through the roof? So what she's saying is, and this is supposed to be a doctor, somebody who's supposed to treat people with empathy. She's basically saying, if you don't date um, a woman who's overweight and might not be your type and might have a very dour personality, um, you're entitled to uh, basically be depressed and suicidal, and we don't give a fuck about you. And it's kind of like these weird red pill guys who share stories of women dating, Chads and Tyrones or doing whatever, and getting killed for it or whatever, and they say, "Oh, it's what you bitches want, right? You guys want the alpha, but this is what you get. You could have had a nice guy." Like they do stuff like that. It's just very bizarre to me. This thing has something like 7.4 million views. It's insane of people that like this got people upset to the point of 7.4 million that this guy, for reasons that we don't know, only one side of the story, didn't want to go on a date with the girl. And it's like women do this stuff all the time. Like a lot of times they'll get a free meal out of it, but let me tell you something. If it was normalized for women to pay for dates, then a lot of these free meal and I'm gonna bounce type of dates would not happen. It would just be like this. Like the main difference is he knew he was gonna be on probably gonna pay for the date for the dinner and drinks. And like I think a lot of women will sit through the dinner and drinks because they'll get a free meal out of it. And then they'll ghost the guy. But maybe this guy is like, hey, I work hard for my money and I don't feel this going. But even if he didn't want her for the shallowest of reasons, I mean, that's his right. The same way a woman has a right to not date a guy because she gets clues that he might be poor, or he shows up to the date and he's shorter than she thinks. Is it messed up? Yeah, but it's her right. See, like I'm not begrudging her right to do this. It's just this kind of weird double standard that's emerging where I feel like women have started feeling that they're losing ground in the battle of the sexes. And now that they have to kind of deal with losing that ground and being on the um level or one down playing field, they are starting to exhibit behavior that they should always say that men were wrong for exhibiting. Yeah, but this is not really true because there's a uptick in suicide rates among all races. Like the black suicide rate, people have been saying this used to be a stereotype that black people commit suicide. It's a white people thing, but recently they've been showing like a lot of black people committing suicide in ways that they never did before. I'm not saying the person is smart. I'm just saying that to be an MD, that means that treating um you're supposed to be treating patients, and this person has no empathy. You know? Yeah. So yeah, she definitely sounds defeated. She definitely does. She definitely sounds defeated. But what I did was um actually went to her TikTok. I'm gonna find her TikTok right now. But I think it's an insane argument. Like the idea that if you don't don't give a woman who's interested in you the reciprocation attention she wants, you deserve to be dead or depressed. Like that is um I would really like to know at what point is he allowed to not be interested. If he went on a date with her and ghosted her after the date, not ghosted, but told her, "Well, I don't think it's gonna work," that'll be a problem. Like, and again, like the whole beautiful woman was like, "Hey," it's like a guy saying, "Great catch," and these women don't appreciate what a great catch I am, which was what those incel in the car rants are always about. Um, check this out. Somebody then said this. So someone quote tweeted this goes, even if you aren't attracted to someone for whatever reason, if you can't even have a nice dinner with conversation and see if there's at least a friendship possible, you are an ass. Now, what is the point of a friendship if you're there for a date and you're looking for um romance. Like, because first off, the quality that might disqualify her for a date, which again, we don't know if it's her attraction. No one's given proof that it has been her attraction. Like, it might be her defeated energy, in which case I don't want a romantic partner or a friend that is a downer, you know, or has whatever other kind of personality issues that disqualify her from being a good date. We don't know if she was snarky, rude. We have no idea what she did. It was a 2 minute date, and she only gave us 30 seconds of the date. And I think Hopi wouldn't notice that there's about a minute or something unaccounted for, right? Like, but again, this is like friend zone logic. Like, quote unquote nice guys. Like, she's the female equivalent of like a nice guy to me, right? A lot of nice guys, if a woman says, "Hey," even if a woman doesn't lead them on and blatantly says, "I don't think you're really my type," they'll still try to go on a date and try to weasel their way in. Hope like, well, once she sees me, if I do enough for her, if I um try, she's going to end up liking me romantically. Like, it's a very kind of manipulative thing. Um, yeah. So it's just weird. Like, I've never seen women make this argument before. Like, well, just because you don't like me, why don't you just go on a date with me? Maybe you'll, what, we can't be friends. That's something that guys just do all the time. Like, when a girl would say, I have a boyfriend, I'm not interested. Oh, what? Your boyfriend doesn't like you to have friends? Well, you're like, okay, you just want to be a friend so you can get in there through the back door. Like, I'm fine for reserving judgment, but that's the problem here is that all these people aren't reserving judgment. They're making this whole story to the point of 7.4 million views, and we don't know. We have no idea what happened. Just everyone just inserting their own type of weird incel narrative about this, and I just think it's just very interesting how it's happening. Like, we're entering a world where no one feels like a winner, and all the hypocrisies are coming out. Like, white people feel like they're losing ground, even though no one. If you want to point out to who's the new winner, um, there's nobody. Even though these white people pretend that black people are just like winning at the wazoo, and these minorities and DEI, like, men feel they're losing ground, but women aren't happy. Like, this is kind of thing where we somehow have improbably entered this world where everyone feels like a loser, but no one feels like a winner. And it's like, as a result, this incel energy is going through the roof. Yeah, so it's I thought it's very very interesting. Well, can you just be a friend and just see she's good for friendship? I just thought, um, I mean, maybe he will eventually give his side. I'll be interested in see what happens when um he does. But at the same time, she didn't blow him up by name or whatever, so he might not think it's worth it. Like, what's the point of? And I think something else interesting too. We have no idea what these guys look like. Like, this is because I messed up, but I've seen some of these uh body positive, fat positive influencers, and they show the guys that they date and whatever. And a lot of times, even they won't want to date um like fat guys. A lot of times, they'll be showing off these muscle bound guys that are interested in them, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I got my man," and they'll, like, have like eventually attractive men. And I think that's kind of an interesting thing. But I have no idea if that's the case with this. But what people always say is that, "You go, girl," or you got a fine guy. But that's like interesting too. Where one of the big complaints they say about incels is they all want a supermodel, which is true. A lot of them do. A lot of them delusionally want a supermodel. They don't want to earn the kind of girl they want. They want to be able to be a seething incel, but still bag a supermodel. And I want to know what her standards are because I don't know, and I'm interested to see. Yeah, but I mean, right now there's no real purpose of him revealing himself because there's nothing but downside for him. If she didn't put him on blast, if he puts himself on blast, no matter how well he explains himself, with 7.4 million women with incel energy seething at this post, he reveals himself, he's gonna become public enemy number one. They'll try to get him fired from his job. They'll do shit like that. They'll find out where he lives, etc. Um, whatever. But we're gonna go to her. This is I find interesting too, right? Like someone said this. Someone's response to this is, "Yeah, there's no such thing as a male loneliness epidemic. Just a bunch of dudes thinking they are worth more than everyone else for some stupid reason." So this is the mindset of the people who want men to suffer on dates with people they don't like on their behalf out of an obligation. You think this way about men that their problems aren't real. You dismiss them. Shut up. You think you're better than everyone. Um, and that's something that incels do too. The incels act like women have no problems. That they're lying about the problems. They have it great, and all the problems are made up. They just bunch of bitches who don't want a good man. And it's full of quote tweets like this. It's really crazy. Like someone sent me these screenshots. I don't have a Twitter account, so I can't just pull up at will. I'm limited by um the exact tweet I'm looking at. But I saw a lot of tweets like this. It was really kind of crazy. All the hateful stuff people were generalizing about all men from this. Um yeah, this is true. It's about general, but a common thing is that from the people that who downplay the male loneliness epidemic is that men bring it upon themselves. But what's ironic is they're like, oh, men should just suck it up and open up about their emotions. But at the same time, people are saying shit like this. Like, um, picture a guy opens up about his emotions, someone like this. Um, someone who thinks that dudes are just people who think they work more than everyone else and don't have real problems and are just making it up because whatever, which is like, kind of like um that'll be like a woman trying to talk to an incel about issues she faces as a woman. There's gonna be no empathy there, you know. Because that is something that's very common with incels. They all think that women have it great and that men are the real oppressed class. So they think like, oh my god, if I was a woman, I have 100 dates or whatever. And but it's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a hard pill to swallow that someone could be lonely but still know how to connect with you in particular. It's true. But this is kind of difference between I think loser and winner mentality because on the bright side, if all the men are if the problem is you, I think that's a better outcome than a problem being everybody else. But a lot of loser mentality people would rather the problem be everyone else and they're perfect because that means I don't have to work on anything and I can not have to actually take responsibility for changing my life. Like, you are the most controllable thing in your life. So if I mean, it sucks when the problem is you in a way, but at the same time, wow, I can fix that. If all men are broken, you're screwed. But we live in this world that has an interesting paradox, right? It's this combination of learned helplessness and omnipotence, like very two contradicting things. And what is this: people have so given up on thinking they can change their own lives. People have so internalized learned helplessness. People have so internalized um external locus of control, which an internal locus of control is this idea that I have self-efficacy. I have the ability to change my life for the better. People are so checked out on that. People have so accepted that they're in this fixed state, that whatever state they're born in, whatever state they're in now, that's just gonna be who they are. You can't ask them to do anything on their behalf. That the omnipotent thought of I can change the whole world. I could change thousands of years of evolution and a whole gender, to make women. I can emotionally blackmail and berate women um into liking broke guys, or I can get a whole generation of women, a whole generation of men to um get get sexually excited for um a defeated fat girl. That actually seems like a more practical use of your time than um just working on your career and making more money, or hitting a treadmill. And this might sound insensitive, it might sound messed up, but um I keep hearing all this stuff about the beauty standard, right? And I'm gonna be honest, it's way easier to get hotter than it is to get richer. Like I don't understand like why the worst thing about the internet is supposed to be this idea of the women are hit with the beauty standard. Like, whereas like guys have to look at other guys flexing, having great careers, doing wonderful, having these career landmarks, and it's like at any age you can lose weight, get a makeover, and get hotter. Even plastic surgery. You can get plastic surgery now with buy now, pay later. People are doing afterpay on plastic surgery. So it's like, I'm not saying that you should live your life by the beauty standard, but I'm just saying I just don't understand why this is some kind of all-encompassing problem. Like, okay, I during the pandemic had put on a lot of weight. And since the pandemic, uh one day I looked at myself, I said, damn, I put on a lot of weight. It kind of crept up on me, but like the world was opening back up and I was starting to have to wear pants that didn't have elastic waistbands and shit. And I was like, oh shit, like now I gotta put on clothes that don't have um, you know, stretch. I'm screwed. And that's when it really hit me. I was like, damn, I let myself like go. So I had to like lose weight. And it took a while, but I lost about 50 pounds, right? Maybe a little more. Now, if somebody told me I had to find a way to make $50,000 more a year. That's way harder. That's way harder to do. Um, I don't mean being sensitive to the beauty standards thing, but I'd much rather just lose weight. Like it's you can be poor and lose weight. Like you can like I just don't understand this idea people have. Like I just can't change my life, but I want to be treated like I put the effort in to change my life. Like, okay, I I'm not saying that people who are very overweight or very poor or whatever should be mandated to live their life a certain way. I don't think that is fair. I'm not saying that, people who are, and I'm also not saying that people who aren't conventionally attractive or whatever are entitled to bad treatment. That's not what I'm saying at all. Um, I think everyone should be treated with respect. Everyone's choices should be treated with respect. If you want to be um, an underachiever male who lives in his mother's basement and doesn't improve his life and just wants to have like inflatable pillow as a girlfriend, like these guys exist. That's your right. You shouldn't shame a guy like that. Um, that's his right. He's not entitled to enter, the workforce or to improve his life or do whatever to increase your availability of mates or make you happy. He has a right to check out. And same with a woman. If a woman wants to be big, she doesn't want to care about her um lifestyle. She doesn't want to care about her looks. She doesn't put on makeup. She doesn't try to get a style, and she wants to check out from the shallow beauty standard. That's fine too. Like, I'm not trying to impose values on anybody. But this is where I think the problem is. These people, it isn't that they want to kill the system. Like, these people don't want to change how dating and beauty standards work. These guys don't want to change the hierarchies or the shallow rewards. What these people on both sides want, they want to keep the whole messed up system of values and rewards alive. They just want to be treated like the people. So it'll be like, um, not like me, going back to football example. I'm against football in the NFL because I think it's patriarchal and it's full of violence and it's full of bad vibes and there's all this stuff and you have to be muscular to excel at it, and I don't want to have to gain all those muscles and everything. But instead of like A, not playing football, or B, trying to tear down football and be like, football enforces a lot of patriarchal values that ruin America. I say, so what the solution is you make me the quarterback. I don't know how to play. I have no muscle, whatever, but you construct the game of football so that I can excel, no one can tackle me, and I get the MVP. Like, it doesn't work. You can't play the game and not play the game at the same time. You know? Like you can't um like what these people want is they want all the same shallowness to be there. They want the perks of the system. They just want the system to be kind of rigged in the favor. Like the guys want to be able to not have a great job, to not do all these things, not but they still want to get the same rewards that the people who work to excel in the system get. They still want an eye candy trophy wife. They still want a big house, etc. And see, that's the part that bothers me. There's this weird kind of thing now where people want to reap the rewards without um doing the work, but they also don't want to. They also pretend to be against the whole game. Like, it's like I just don't because okay, I know plenty of big girls who date well, who find partners, and have a full dance card. I just do. I don't know. Like there's plenty of them who do. They have sex appeal. They have great personalities, and I see when I walk around, I see girls who are bigger with have plenty of boyfriends. And I really want to know what exactly is the full story with people, right? So, okay, going back to like there's this constant refrain that happens about social media is ruining um women's self-esteem. And I keep having an argument with my friend about this, and I keep saying, I don't even think it's true. Um, because hear me out. I watch a lot of old movies. I watch Turner Classic Movies um all the time. I watch a lot of old movies. And the level of beauty expected from a Hollywood actress was insane. I watched this movie today, A Lady Without Passport. I saw Turner Classic Movies. It was interesting. It had Hedy Lamarr in it, right? Now, Hedy Lamarr was called in her day the most beautiful woman in the world. Now, she had a very striking look. So you look at Hedy Lamarr, and it'd make her play like normal people. But this is what Hedy Lamarr um looked like. Now you look at someone like Lena Horne when she was young, and she was like amazing uh to look at. Like you don't really get this type of woman as commonly as before. Like you have Gal Gadot. She's kind of in this kind of vein, Halle Berry, but in general, I think to be a Hollywood actress, you don't really have to be as glamorous as you used to have to be. Um like this is Linda Darnell, and she was considered, and those people they were just like the average Hollywood actress. Like you had to, you look at someone like Ruby D, uh Ossie Davis's wife. When she was young, she was really attractive. That was just to get in the door. You had to be that attractive, but there was no ability to see anything else. Right? You could not see, like, okay, take someone like Amy Adams. Amy Adams is not unattractive. She's an attractive woman. She's an above average attractive woman. But I don't think she is on the level of like old Hollywood. And people always use Betty Davis as the counter argument. But the fact that everyone has to use the same person is the exception that proves the rule. The fact that everyone can only point to one person as proof that, like, everyone in old Hollywood didn't have to be unreasonably beautiful. I think adds to the point. But now you can be, there's a lot bigger range of what you could be as a Hollywood actress. And be a leading lady. Um and you have the internet. Like before, there wasn't social media, there was no internet. So when you open any media, all you saw was that, if you were a woman. Now I can see um 300-pound models, and they're getting thirsty comments under their you know post. I can see a woman with blue hair, half her head shaved, um very overweight, wearing frumpy lumberjack clothes, and she'll be online and she'll have OnlyFans, and the OnlyFans is doing well. Like, I don't really see how social media has increased the beauty standard. Like you could point to BBLs and all that stuff, but you can still buy that. Like before, you couldn't. You were screwed if you didn't look like these people in the 40s or 50s. You couldn't do anything, right? And I put this as an example. If women's self-esteem and beauty standards are so high now, and the social media stuff is creating this unprecedented wave of beauty standards for modern women, right? Why aren't older women the most supportive people to younger women when it comes to their bodies? If you hear most modern women talk, right? Hear me out on this. If you hear most, if you hear, no, Dorothy Dandridge is a great example too, but I'm just using an example. Dorothy Dandridge is prettier, but I'm just saying the average was really high back then. Like the range that you're allowed now did not exist back then, right? But now, okay, when you hear women talk about um their moms or their aunties or their grandmothers, um, and how to talk about their bodies, those women don't say, "Hey, why are you working so hard? Just be overweight. Guys will like you." No, those women would be the first ones. They always talk about how their mothers called them fat. They always tell them, "How are you gonna get a man like that?" Um, they're always criticizing their weight, their makeup, their looks, how they dress. Um, if those women had less pressure for beauty standards and higher self-esteem, then older women would be telling younger women, "Hey, why are you working so hard? Let yourself go. You're still beautiful. You're still gonna get a man like that." They would be telling them stuff like, "Hey, just get as big as you want." Like, but it's the younger people in the age of social media who, believe now more than ever, all types, all sizes, all shapes, all looks, all aesthetics, um, are beautiful. And they learned that from social media. Social media has allowed all types of women to get attention. Like, hold on a second. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to leave soon. Uh yeah. So that's Kenny. We have to record. I was waiting for him to get home. Yeah, so we're gonna record an episode. So that's gonna wrap it up real quick. Right. All types of women now, right? And can get sexual attention. Like there's OnlyFans with all types of shapes now. Like I think a lot of women didn't notice before. There's a lot of women who back in the days would have been a social hermit, would have been thought she was like horrendous, who now can feel bold enough to post thirst traps. I don't want to post examples because I don't want to blow up anybody's spots, but I'm sure you've all seen it. Like, people of all sizes who post bikini pics and whatever. I think what has happened with social media is not that it's shrunk women's perceptions of what they could be, but the opposite, right? But with that, and this is where I think the illusion of it's hard on women's self-esteem is. I think social media has created the impression that everybody is entitled to be treated as being as hot as everyone else. So then what happens is now that this but it's the thing, a lot of people do. And people didn't notice before. Social media has let a lot of BBWs realize on the internet, wow, actually, I have a market. You know, um, like people in the 40s or 50s, they would have thought, oh, damn, the only thing that's allowable is Dorothy Dandridge or Lena Horne or Jean Harlow or Marilyn Monroe. Like Marilyn Monroe was treated as fat to some people back in the days. You know, um, so it's like I think the illusion of lower self-esteem from social media is happening because more people feel entitled to be treated as hot. So when it doesn't happen, so like now, if a 250, 300 pound woman posts bikini sec- bikini picture with a Brazilian thong, and she gets 80% positive, and then 20% people saying, "Hey, be quiet, you land whale." Then like, oh my god, it's so hard on the internet for a woman, without even thinking that in the old days, that woman would never even have felt confident enough to post that picture, and all those compliments that she got, she would never have access to them. Like somebody who was that big could probably go their whole life without a single compliment. You know, um, yeah, Jay Mansfield was considered fat too, but today she would be considered like an unrealistic beauty standard. You know, and that's an example of how um the beauty standards are actually um spreading. Like people who were considered borderline back in the days, there's an inflation that's lifting all boats. Everybody is being able to be considered hotter than they were back in the days. And I mean, this is fair as well. This is totally fair as well. But yeah, I do think that what's actually happening is social media is actually fueling delusional levels of self-esteem in what people think they're entitled to as far as um reception. And then when they don't get that delusional expectation met, when they don't, when they get that narcissistic injury, uh then they think, oh my god, it's the end of the world. Whereas it, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it was no, it was not normal for everyone to feel entitled to that particular attention. That's why people were way harder on themselves about how they looked back then. Like if you if you do a random, like like you do this image search, right? Candid photos of women on the beach. This is candid photos of women on the beach. These aren't, for the most part, models. Like there are various sizes, right? Um, this is 1950s. This is Hollywood Beach. Um, so this is in L.A., but it's not necessarily a movie star. But you know, in L.A. you have to be extra beautiful, even if you weren't in the movies. But you find these aren't famous people. These aren't cherry picked pictures. You can look on the beach. You know, people on average just didn't get as big back then. I'm not cherry picking. I'm going picture by picture. And some of these people are famous. Some of these people are not. But look, these people are just in a home. Uh, you can tell by this photo. This is a regular photo, right? And I'm not cherry picking. That's just all the photos. This one might be maybe the biggest, but those women look like they're in like their 50s or 60s. Um, I'm gonna do candid photos. Black women, the beach, 1950. And here's a picture of just regular black women because these women, it's easier to know that they're not celebrities because there weren't that many black women celebrities. And again, I'm not tripping. I'm going in the order that all of them show up, right? So look, this is regular black women on the beach. These aren't famous people. Now, look at all of them. These are just regular people, families, and this is 1950s. This is Chicken Bone Beach. So my question is, if social media was making beauty standards so high now, and these women just can't survive because these beauty standards are so weighing on them. Why did the average person back then look like this? What was real life doing to you back then? Like, this is what you were around, and then the celebrities looked even better than this. Um, Whereas now I can like see all types. I can see a nationwide ad with like I'm put plus side model nationwide campaign. Like we have this thing in society. Okay, this could be a model. Like the range that you can be now is crazy. Um, there's this thing that happens now. This is a nationwide ad. Like this is thing that we just repeat things because everybody says it because it's common knowledge. But yeah, I think what's happening is there's now this expectation, rightly or wrongly, that the world's gonna work um a certain way, you know. Um yeah, so I'm not saying it's right or wrong for this woman who went on this date to, you know, have a guy leave within 2 minutes. You know, I don't know why he left. If he left because he knew she was big, but then when she got there, he decided to be a jerk. That's not right. I'm not saying you have a right to treat anybody bad, but I think it's a better world for a big person than ever before. Um, yeah, there's a better world for a big person than ever in human history, and people, you can't force the world. Like, okay, as a black guy, there's gonna be a lot of people if I wanted to date across different races, right? There's gonna be a lot of people who are not gonna date um black people, right? Um, do I have the right to try to force people to like black people who don't like black people? And Kenny, I'm gonna wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Um, so I just want to finish this point, right? So I'm gonna give an example. There was this guy who was writing stories about um there was this trend of gay guys writing stories about how white gay guys didn't have a right to not sleep with black gay guys. And they got really crazy, some of these articles, and it was these social justice um types. This guy's name was Donovan Trott, who wrote one of the most infamous um ones, and this was it. Like he wrote an open letter to gay white men. No, you're not allowed to have a racial preference. And he just goes all this stuff. Dear white men, before I begin, I'm not calling all of you racist, but he's just talking about this you know, these white guys on dating apps. He wrote multiple articles about this. He even did a whole um documentary on it called No Chocolate, No Rice, right? And he thinks he's gonna change a whole legion of existing white gay men with solidified sexual preferences and who are racist, and somehow get them to like black guys. Like, is it fair that you know you're gonna be excluded from people who are well within your range physically and financially just because of something you can't control by your race? Yeah, but fuck him. What can you do? Like sometimes life is harder for you. You've got to. There's advantages that you have other people don't have, and some advantage that other people have that you won't have. Why would you even want to be around those people? But this is the part I thought was crazy. So he goes to this whole thing about trying to teach white people through sociology and anti-racism why they're bad for not wanting to sleep with black people, and how no, you are racist if you don't want to sleep with black people just because they're black. Kind of like how some people say, uh, if you're a straight man and the only reason you don't want to sleep with a trans woman is because she's trans and you're transphobic. It's like that same thing, right? Um, so then um, he tries to address every objection that this type of white person might have for why they don't want to date, minorities, and he takes all of them down, right? Um, so he's like, but what if black and Asian men choose to date only other black and Asian men too? Isn't that racist too? Therefore I can only date white men. No, and you tried it. Look, all men are created equal, but all men are not valued equally in this country. So basically, he's trying to say every black man and Asian man are allowed to have racial preferences, but you as a white guy are not, which I think is insane to say, right? But then, um, he keeps going to every single possible objection you can have for not wanting to date a black guy, and try to logic you, which again, this is like, I think, kind of gay incel behavior, right? Um, you're saying to yourself, damn, if I don't go for men of color, I'm racist. If I do, I'm racist. I'm fetishizing. Well, yeah, if you don't make any decision, it keeps going on. But then this was the one that I want to get to. This one I thought was crazy. He goes, fine, I'm a horrible racist asshole. What do I do about it? I can't reprogram myself to find men of color more attractive. Some of you might be saying, actually, you can. As you know, the brain is the largest sexual organ in your body and is capable of amazing growth. Think of it like learning a new language. Better still, think of it like unlearning a racist one. In social psychology, there's a theory called the mere exposure effect. Simply put, the more we are exposed to someone, the more attracted they become to us. See? There's hope for you after all. You can decide how to best expose yourself however you want to please, but for the good POC, for the good of us POC who have to share this community with you, get to work. As gay men of color, we get more than enough discrimination from the rest of the world. We don't need the friendly fire from you. First off, if a guy is racist, he's not giving you friendly fire. That's just fire. Like, stop trying to contort yourself to make you want to sleep with racist. Okay. But you want a clockwork orange adult men. Like what are you gonna do? You gonna strap into a chair with the eyes open, like clockwork orange, and just flash like black penises in front of them all day until uh start salivating. Like what do you want? Like, that's crazy. Like, just date other people. Like, you can easily change your own life and preferences to be where you wanted, and you'd rather try to force change every other white gay guy around. It's crazy. Hit the likes. Yeah, it's but that's what people are like now. People now think they're entitled to get whatever attention they want from everybody. I just never grew up that way. I never understand that. It's yeah, but this is exactly what I'm saying. That's how you know you're making an incel argument. If when you gender swap it, it sounds crazy. Picture a short guy writing this article. All these women will say, no short guys. You're actually a huge bigot, and here are all the reasons why. Here's the reason all your arguments are wrong. And why don't you just watch a bunch of porn with short men in it, or just expose yourself? Here's some studies. If you want to prove you're not, but comes down to, if you want to prove you're not a bigot or a horrible person, you have to sleep with me. If you want to prove that you're not a bigot, you better sleep with me. Like, that's what activism is now. Activism now, and this whole desirability politics stuff is basically, if you want to prove you're not a bigot, you've got to fuck me. Which again, I think is how incels think. Like, the only thing is, they can't really plausibly call themselves activists. Some of them try to call themselves men's rights activists, but people don't go for it. And someone said that this might be clickbait, but this guy made a whole documentary on it, and he wrote multiple articles. It's pretty insane. So here's the last thing I'm going to say. Here is the last thing I'm going to say it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't believe this whole thing about. I think when people don't like something, people realize the group that gets the most, I think, sympathy in this society is, women. Like if you try to say something is a problem mainly because it affects men, it doesn't really work. People are like, shut up and deal with it. You know, um, but if you phrase it as a problem, it's affecting women. A lot of guys are like, "Oh man, my poor daughter." Oh, like a lot of people are just more sympathetic. It's like in The Godfather when Don Corleone tells the guy like only women and children get you know the right to expect sympathy. Like as a man, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Um, but what happens? What happens is I want to find this gold digger prank, but I can't find it. It just. Oh yeah, this is a good one, right? This is the same type of logic. Check this out. I always like making fun of these. Like making fun of these uh gold digger pranks, right? So this guy,
Check this chick out in this red dress. Oh my God. She got a lot of tats though, bro. But she got a fire body. Anyway, man, y'all do me a favor. Go follow me on Instagram right now. Damian Cryer Senior, all lower casings, bro. I do follow back, man. Let me see what's up with this chick, man.
okay, so this guy is showing up as a McDonald's employee.
Hey, how you doing, beautiful? I'm not interested. You're not interested? What's your name? Man, you work at McDonald's. My fault. Well, you have a nice day then. Sorry to bother you. Christ. Why women like that, man? This kills me. Women with nice little bodies on them, they had like the nastiest attitudes in the world. I swear.
So he feels entitled to get a baddie
Females
because he
be
has
so
a nice car. But look, oh my God, you saw the car.
like it's always the ones with the nice booty on them. They got the nasty attitude, man. I would never understand it. Oh shit. Hey, what's up? Yeah, this is one of mine. Why? What's up?
I did not know this. What a guy like you from McDonald's driving something like this?
You say that you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Well, how could you?
How you get this? And you work at McDonald's?
Hold on, just a second. I mean, you, wow. I was just trying to speak to you on the sidewalk. You said that you wasn't interested.
I mean,
now you're
interested. How are you driving this?
Well, of course,
you have a car like this.
I work every day. I work hard. You see,
this is clearly fake.
Paycheck. I used to work at McDonald's when I was a little girl. I didn't make this kind of money.
Well,
I don't even drive something like this.
Well, it's a big difference when you work at McDonald's as a little girl to owning the McDonald's as a big man.
Oh, you own.
See, so now this is clearly fake, but that's not the point. The comments are full of people who love this. This is prank number 172. That's how profitable this is. He keeps doing them, and the comments are full of people who are so glad to get her comeuppance. But the idea is, why should a woman want to talk to a guy who's including his 50s or 60s wearing a McDonald's shirt? And he has that stupid thing he adds to it, but why I own a McDonald's. Most McDonald's owners don't dress in the entry level uniform. They just get the fuck out of here. Like, but there's this idea, right, that incels have that I should be able to be in the lowest stage of my life, but pull any level that I want. But the thing is, they're not gonna get 7 million clicks of sympathy. Like, this guy found his little corner of YouTube of weird incels who will give him some money. But if you posted that on Twitter, they wouldn't find 7 million people saying it's so unfair that guys that work at McDonald's, entry level in their 50s or 60s, can't get baddies 30 years younger than them. That would be considered insane entitlement. They would just be like, "Yo, dude, fix your life. You should not." No one, but the people in the audience are people who have given up on improving themselves. Like, so their identity is, um, I'm gonna be forever in the level of a guy who's in his 50s or 60s working entry level um McDonald's, and it's more feasible to me to propagandize the rest of the world of women to just give up their expectations to be provided for and date guys like me, then I find it realistic to improve my life in a meaningful way. Um but anyway, this is the woman's TikTok. And this is the part that I think, might turn a lot of people off or make them upset. But yeah, but the worst thing is how fake those things are. And people, I don't know if they're pretending to fall for it, but people get angry or happy in the comments. Okay. So I found her thing. Live, laugh, Lexapro. So I think Lexapro is like a depression drug, right? Is that what that is? But she's leading off with, Lexapro. That's not a good sign. I'm not judging anybody who's on these pills, but more that you've kind of made it your identity. Like, I think she might be a downer, but okay. I, I don't really know exactly how a lot of this works. Like how you can tell how long someone's been on it, but let's look at her. She has been doing these posts forever. Feel sorry for herself. Slim Chicken is 12, talking about toxic relationships, talking about being big, and there's more, but it's catching up. I'm scrolling too fast. She's talking about her bad dates. Went on a date with a man who said Jane Austen books, and Taylor Swift. So somebody said Taylor Swift's for kids. That's one of the reasons why she ghosted this guy. Uh, that was a deal breaker. That the guy thought Taylor Swift was for kids. Um, going on. Um, talking about dating apps. She's just more Swifty stuff. Going on. Going on. Talking about exes. More Swifty stuff. All her bad dates. ADHD. Her old toxic relationship. Now, it goes on and on. I just want to show that she has a lot of posts, right? That's must have messed up, but I don't understand how it's easier in your life to keep posting about this for what looks like it might be years. I don't know how to tell dates on TikTok. When I click the things, it's not easy to tell how long the post's been going. Then and just keep complaining about how life's not giving you what you want. Then it is to just lose weight. I just don't get it. Like that's a lot of work to TikTok that much for that long. Um, like I don't think it's easier to expect the world to change than it is to I'm not saying it's easy. It's I'm not it's it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but I mean there's a lot worse challenges. You can have one arm. You can have some things that people just can't, you know, fix. She's not an ugly girl at all. Like you could be like born just being really ugly, and no matter how much weight you lose, you're screwed. But it's like her personality on that thing does not seem great. She's talking about Swifties all day and how she has ADHD and all these things. And I'm gonna say this one thing. I'm someone who has ADHD. And even I think people who identify with ADHD as an identity are the most annoying people on earth. Like, I tried going to ADHD communities, I just couldn't take them because I don't know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna do that community post where we talk about different times to consider for regular live streams. And yeah, see, this is what I'm gonna say. Um, I know a lot of big girls who get married and have a full dance card. Um, and yeah, her personality and her awkwardness, but also like the third thing on her profile, live, love, Lexapro, like she has no self-awareness of what she puts out. So we have no idea what she did in the 2 minutes that she was on that date that might have turned that guy off. You know? Yeah, and just that type of helplessness. Like, just I'm big, and I think being big is a because there's plenty of women who don't think being big is a problem. And I would never tell them that they need to lose weight. You have a right to be whatever size you want, whatever you're doing that's not hurting anybody. You have a right to do. It's when you say you have a problem that's a fixable problem, and you talk about the problem all day long, but you'd rather everyone else contort themselves to your problem and fixing your problem. That's when it bothers me. If you are blaming all your problems on being fat, but you're just gonna TikTok about it 24/7, and now men deserve a loneliness epidemic and deserve to um be depressed and have no family and friends that give them emotional support and deserve to die uh, because they don't like how big you are, even though you're not really making efforts to be any smaller. All you're doing is just posting all day about how it sucks that you're big for years, and you have an actual MD who's supposed to have the do no harm creed, being the one to say that men deserve to die. Like that's what I'm saying about the weird the normalized incellification of modern women. I think is very, very bizarre. So yeah, I'm not convinced it was only 2 minutes either. But even if it was, we have no idea what happened in that 2 minutes. But yeah. So thanks everybody. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, share this with people, and y'all have a good one. Um, when we do like the multiple streams a week, they're not all gonna be this long. But I promised 3 this week, and I only did 1, so I made this one longer as a result. Everyone, have a good one. Take care. Bye.